How to answer an aggressive code enforcer.
Let's just say, for instance, the officer said his name is Davis and his badge number is 123. Officer Davis, badge ID 123, is there recording being made of this encounter? Again, you want him to tell you whether or not he's making an official record of this. Officer Davis, badge number 123, what is the emergency and how can I help you? Again, we're not going to assume we did anything wrong. We're not engaged in transportation. We're not commercial. Therefore, his authority to pull us over for some alleged offense under that code is non-existent. Therefore, we have to ask, why are you stopping me? Do you have a problem and do you need me to help you? Officer Davis, badge number 123, what facts or information are you alleging gave you probable cause to stop and accost me? Right there, we're asking the officer to validate his authority. What alleged facts are you relying on as your authority to do what you're doing to me right now? Officer Davis, badge number 123, do you have a properly signed and issued warrant authorizing you to search me or my property? Again, documenting the right. Do you have a warrant? And this warrant specifically directed at searching, okay? Can you search me or my property? If he says yes, simply ask to see a copy of the warrant. Officer Davis, badge number 123, do you have a properly signed and issued warrant of arrest that accurately describes or names me as the person to be arrested? Again, you're going to arrest me, where's your warrant? Okay? Your warrant either has to state me by name or description as the person it applies to. Where is it? Again, if he has it, ask to see it. If he doesn't give it to you right then, he's required by law to still produce it as soon as practicable. For the record, I am not operating in a for-hire capacity by engaging in any form of transportation or other commercial use of the highways. Officer Davis, badge number 123, please acknowledge that you have been so informed. Now, this officer is not going to know what you're talking about, and he's not going to care. He may refuse to answer and so on and so forth. However, you want an answer to every question you ask. When they don't answer, do what they do. Keep repeating the question till they respond. He may say, I don't care, I don't know. Doesn't matter. But you want an answer to this question before you allow him or yourself to move on. Very important that you get this, because once he admits that you told him you were not operating in transportation and he continues to do something to you using that as his authority, he has admitted his authority was gone and he held you anyway. That is going to be a very big problem for him in federal court. I had no authority to keep you there, but I did it anyway. Well, we're going to prove to him why that's a very bad idea. Officer Davis, badge number 123, am I under custodial arrest? Again, this is where he's going to lie. If I am not under custodial arrest, am I free to go? And again, he's going to tell you no. You cannot get the same answer to these two questions. They're completely opposite to each other. Either you're in a custodial arrest and not free to go, or you're not in a custodial arrest and you are free to go. They can't be the same answer. Officer Davis, badge number 123, what is the articulable probable cause that leads you to believe that I have committed or am about to commit a crime that authorizes you to stop and detain or arrest me? Again, the officer is going to cite some alleged transportation offense as his initial probable cause. You want that in the record. He's already admitted up here that you told him you were not in transportation, and now right here he's saying, but that's still what I'm going to use as my authority to accost you or do anything else to you. For the record, Officer Davis, badge number 123, in order to protect my rights and not waive any by error or accident, I wish to clarify my legal understanding of the situation. You said that I am not free to go, so I must conclude that I am in a custodial arrest and not simply an investigative detention. Therefore, I am invoking all of my fundamentally protected rights, including my right to remain silent and my right to assistance of counsel. From this point forward, I do not consent to providing you with any information or documents that could or will be used against me in a court of law or to possibly incriminate me. So please do not ask me to produce anything and give it to you. From this point forward, please do not ask me to answer any questions or to perform any tests relating to any matter whatsoever without my attorney present. All right, now the clincher to that setup is going to be this. Officer Davis, badge number 123, do you intend to harm, injure, or punish me by any method of assault, arrest, and or incarceration because I have invoked these fundamentally protected rights? Now that's going to create an immediate problem for the officer. Understand this, when you refuse to produce the demanded documents or to answer any questions, the officer is going to begin to get upset and continuously state the following. The law requires that you produce a driver's license and other information on demand of the law enforcement officer. Well, again, they're also prone to falsely accusing you of obstructing or interfering with a public duty or officer, or just outright threatening to commit acts of violence against you and your property. Don't fall for the intimidation tactic. That's what this is. Invoking and refusing to waive your fundamental rights is not and cannot be converted into a crime. And if they do arrest and charge you falsely for interfering or obstructing, then you get to sue everybody. Why? Because they just punished you for invoking those protected rights. They're doing what they're doing because you invoked the right not to let them. But the moment you waive that right, you won't get it back. And you need to keep that in mind. All you do is keep repeating the following. For the record, Officer Davis, badge number 123, no law is valid if it requires me in any way to waive any fundamentally protected right in order to exercise any other right or alleged privilege. And no law can convert the free exercise of any right into a crime. I have repeatedly informed you that I choose not to waive any of my fundamentally protected rights. So I ask you once again, officer, do you intend to harm, injure, steal my property, or otherwise punish me for invoking my fundamentally protected rights? Again, we're putting them between a rock and a hard place on making this choice. Because remember, their video record is showing that all you're doing in a calm, cool, collected voice is invoking your rights. The rights that you have that are inherent. They're not constitutional rights. They're not civil rights. They are unalienable, inherent rights. And he can't have them unless you give them away. So don't. If he's going to harm you, he's going to do it anyway. If he's going to threaten you, he's going to do it anyway. Keep that to a minimum whenever possible. But don't waive your rights until you can prove that the only reason you waived them was because of the threat of violence against you or your property. Okay? That's very, very necessary. The courts will give them every possible opportunity to escape if you assist them in any way. So don't.